everybody. I'm Jen Polson of Jen Polson Consulting, and we are here today with our Inspiring Conversations episode, and we are going to visit with my friend Maddi Shaw. Maddi, welcome. I'm glad to have you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So I met Maddi a few months ago on an airline trip, airline flight, and I was coming home to Birmingham, and she was sitting in the seat next to me, and I was just feeling a little emotional because my sister had recently passed, and all the feelings and emotions were really raw, and Maddi was this ray of light, and she just listened to me, and she, I don't know, I cried, you cried, I think you shed some tears with me, and then I got to hear Maddi's story, and I was so inspired by Maddi that I wanted to invite her to come and be one of our inspiring conversation celebrities. And she kind of is a celebrity because she's Miss Vermont. And so, Maddi, I'm just going to hand it over to you and just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about, being Miss Vermont and what you have coming up next week, which is really exciting. And tell us about your platform that you are involved in.
Yeah. So I'm a really outdoorsy kind of person. Just because I wear the crown doesn't mean that I don't like to play sports or, be athletic. I ski, I play soccer, I go bike riding, a little bit of a tomboy, but I like to dress up and all that stuff. But I'm also like a real family girl. Currently, I'm 23 years old, and I'm living at home, but I have a job that I absolutely love. I'm one of the main reporters at the Brattleboro Reformer, which is a newspaper in Vermont's third largest city. So I just totally love what I'm doing, telling other people's stories. You're interviewing me, so I'm on the other side of it. It's a little weird, but I really love my job and the community that I'm working in. So that's a little bit about me. Let's see, I go to church at Praxis Church in Keene, New Hampshire, so I make the 20-minute commute for this vineyard church that is so awesome and is totally just spoken into my life a lot and helped me grow spiritually, so big shout out to them. So anyways, for Miss International, I've never competed in pageants before, but I've definitely, the biggest thing that I've learned about pageants is that I love them. So I knew that a year ago, I knew I had a story and a mission that I wanted to share about how to treat people that are differently abled with respect. Because I have an older brother named Miles who has a rare genetic disorder called Cornelia de Lange syndrome, CDLS. Causes physical, medical, and cognitive challenges. And I've had this mission since I was really young. I remember when I was in first grade, I brought him in to show and tell, and I taught people about what is CDLS. And then we had a big dance party on the meeting rug. We saw our similarities. Then when I was 17, I got published in Teen Inc. magazine for a story I wrote about a 13-year-old girl who told me that she thought my brother was a monkey. So I wrote about that and, how judgments are hurtful, but how I also understand them and ways to approach differences. So anyways, I've had this mission my whole life, and I really was starting to feel on fire about it about a year ago. And then about a year ago, well, now in November, I received a letter from International Pageants about their platform-based pageant. And I thought, okay, this is fate. This is my calling. I never done pageants before, but this is really just screaming at me, do this. And I'm like, God, what? a pageant, I'm like, got my hair tied back, my glasses on. I'm like, I don't know if I can be that. But the whole platform part of it really, really struck me. So I applied and was selected, and they loved my platform, and I'd really grown it into something pretty big. It's called Stay Informed and Be Loving, which teaches people to accept, respect, and interact with those that are differently abled. And I've just raised awareness in a lot of different ways across the state, really aiming at children to start young to learn that message.
Awesome. So you have been speaking for the last several months to like schools and lots of groups of kids, right?
Yes. So I was crowned in January, officially was able to do public speaking events as Miss Vermont International. And my first appearance was at my church with the kids that I teach at Sunday school. So that was really cool to incorporate my faith in that speech, and just talk about how God makes us all differently but loves us the same, and then like give them literature about my brother's syndrome to really bring it home and relatable, because they have a relationship with me, and they just are more attentive, one, because they know me, and then I'm wearing a crown and they're like like really listening.
Love it. Especially little girls, I'm sure.
Oh,
You're a
so
princess.
cute.
Our teacher is a princess.
I know, they're like, the real Miss Vermont. I'm like, I'm not faking it. But so that was my first appearance, and then I talked at a nonprofit called the Inclusion Center, which is totally just like what I'm trying to do, is create inclusive environments where people of all different abilities can gather and just enjoy each other's company and get to know each other. So that was fun. I made 2 appearances at the Inclusion Center in Brattleboro. Let's see, I spoke at 2 different schools. I spoke at the Union High School in my area with 9th through 12th graders. And my biggest message is just about, accept, respect, and interact. Really, kids from, 4 to 18, I'm teaching them how to sail, which is to smile, ask, interact, and love. It's really simple, staring is rude, smiling is not. It's just a simple message that carries on throughout all of our life. Even if you're scared, just smile. Like, that is going to make someone feel more comfortable, and even family members are going to be hurt sometimes by your staring. If you smile and then use maybe your inhibitions or your curiosity to ask a question, and you don't want to say what's wrong with you. It's
Right.
more, what's your name? How you doing? Like, just anything. And even if they're nonverbal like my brother is, they're usually accompanied by someone who can talk, and they can answer and advocate for them.
Right. I love that.
Mm-hmm. So ultimately, teaching people how to sail, to stay informed, get information, and then respond by being loving. And then biggest goal as Miss International is to create environments, like I said, where people can interact and just enjoy. So I really want to, host more events or speak at other events that are inclusive like that, especially being inclusive, accommodating for people, making it wheelchair accessible, making sure, being aware of like epilepsy. I mean, lots of lights and things like that might not be a good idea. That is very common. But yeah, so I hosted my own event it was the CDLS Awareness Day, and I raised over over $1,000. I can't remember the exact amount, but over $1,000, and all profits went to the CDLS Foundation. So that was good. That it was a dance party, and it was a raffle time, Zumba, all this stuff that people of all ages and abilities can come. And I met a lot of families from all around New England that have an individual in their life that has CDLS. So that was so cool, because I haven't had a lot of exposure, because CDLS is 1 in every 10,000 live births. So, families feeling like they've been heard and understood, I can just totally see what it means to them. And I know that this message is important. So
I love that so much. So if somebody wanted to, if someone was looking for a motivational speaker, a keynote speaker for their company or their organization, you are open to coming and speaking and.
Totally. I would love to follow up with that person and see what they're interested in. I mean, even if it's volunteering, I don't mind, getting my hands dirty and doing some work. I've done a lot of volunteer work as Miss International, Miss Vermont International, with my platform, but also in other areas such as Carry Me Home, which has been sending a lot of clothes to places in Europe, boxing up stuff, Anyways, I'm interested in a lot of different areas, so people can contact me at Maddi at supportcdlsvt.com. So my website is supportcdlsvt.com, and you can find my contact info there, my blogs, some videos.
And we'll have that information at the end of the video too, so everyone can find you. And then if they, let's see, what was I going to ask you? Well, I just want to tell you, thank you for being such an amazing light in the world. I feel like, right now there's we just hear so much tragedy on the news, and I love that you're out there bringing love and light into the world and helping people, be more compassionate. And I love the idea that you're teaching children at a young age how to respond to people that are different from them, because that's something that we face, throughout our whole lives, whether it's, different skin color, different disabilities or challenges, or just all kinds of different circumstances that, are different. And I love that so many times fear is their first response, and nobody teaches anyone how to deal with that fear. I love your smile, what is it? Smile,
Ask,
and
then interact.
Interact and love. I got the last one.
Oh, okay.
I got the love one. Love covers it all too. So I love that you're doing that and giving, people an opportunity to practice that and put that into, and just have it become a part of who they are. So that's so powerful. So powerful. And I have to share one thing that about you and about our flight that evening into Birmingham. Maddi prayed for me on the flight. And, it's interesting, since I have moved to the South, and there have just been different times in my life in the last several years where I've had people offer to pray for me, and it was such a different experience than what I had grown up with, and one that it just touches my heart. Every once in a while I'll have someone just ask if they can pray for me, and that prayer that you gave me, that you said for me, was just so sweet, and I just felt God's love wrap around me in that time where I felt so, just a lot of grief and a lot of sadness. And so I just want to thank you for that. Just another way you brought light, into the world and light into my life. So.
Jesus is alive, and he's with us now, and we have the Holy Spirit here, and it moves how it wants, and I just felt led to pray for you. It's not that you were weak or anything like that. You are a strong, independent woman. And I was just I heard your story, and I was like, I'm just going to pray for it. God, you do the rest. It's not that I can fix your problem and
right. No,
totally. Or fix that hurt, but he can. And
yeah. I love that.
We all got stuff.
Sweet. So sweet. Yeah, we do all have stuff, but I think we all have a way to bring light into the world in our own way, and so having the courage to pray for somebody like that, I want to have more courage to do that.
I'm passing on the
torch. I gotta listen better.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, Maddi, give us one closing little statement about living your dream, because you are like in the process of, you've found this purpose, you've found something that really excites you, something that's bringing a lot of good to the world. So what would you say to somebody that's trying to figure out what their special thing is to bring love and light into the world?
I would say definitely, reflect on your own life, highs and lows. What's really struck you over and over again. For me, it was my brother. And don't try to follow the pattern of the world or follow someone else's dream, because it's really easy to get wrapped up in that. Something sounds cool and you're saying, I'm going to do that, but it's really not like where your heart is. You're going to be miserable. So listen to what you love in life and what you like to do. Listen to the needs of other people. See how you can serve. Listen to other people's stories about how they've served and how they got inspired, because I'm not saying copy their inspiration, but, how did they find it? So that'd be my advice.
I love that. I love that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's been great. This is our third try for this interview, so we've had lots of practice, chat back and forth. So it's been great. It's been a great opportunity to chat with you more often. So
yes.
Anyway, and you're leaving next week, or you're leaving for your pageant next week, right?
My pageant. Oh my gosh, T-minus like a few days.
Yeah.
The pageant festivities for Miss International began on Monday, the 25th. I will start visiting. We'll do a lot of different community things in Jacksonville, Florida, visiting a local children's hospital. We're going to visit the PACE Center for Girls. We're going to make candy, do all this cool stuff I can't wait to do. And then on July 29th, it will be prelims, and then on July 30th, which is a Saturday, there will be finals. You can live stream it. You can check my Facebook page. I will be posting that link. It's not up yet. So yes, keep me in your prayers, and let's go.
Definitely. Go Miss Vermont International. All right, Maddi, thank you so much, and we'll be keeping track of you next week, and best of luck, and sending all my love.
Thank you.